beautiful divine masculine and feminine darlings. This is the Seraphim Gem Gypsy, SeraFae Indigo Empress, and Shiloh Horizon. I just heard a couple of things. I just heard something about the Danube River, which is a river in Egypt, and I also just heard something about eagles. I think that's like Ackles or Acles. And I think they're talking about, what was his name? He's the guy who played Jason, Jason Ackles. He plays Dean Winchester in Supernatural. Let me grab that deck. The Danube River runs through many places, many countries. The reference to Egypt and the linkage, I was picking up a linkage to Isis, comes from the fact that there are many temples along the Danube in these different countries that are focused on Isis, so the divine feminine energy that is based in this Egyptian energy. So, side note on that, generally speaking, Isis is associated with the Nile River, but there are many church temples along the Danube. Let's grab that deck, shall we? Not sure where this one went. Give me just a second to find it. I do have a couple of decks over here, but I wasn't planning on using this one till I just picked that up off of the cuff. So we'll see where this goes. There are karmic energies trying to, it's like energy vampirism, pull on lightworker energy. And I'm picking up that some of them are doing power of 3 spells. It's very cult witchcraft practitioner energy. And they think that because they're in trouble for causing harm to lightworkers that they need protection, right? Like, they don't think that we need protection from them as they're attacking us, or they don't care. But they think that when we talk about it, which means that they have to take accountability for it, that they're being victimized. It's delusional. It's very narcissistic. Like, they think that they can hurt people, and they're entitled to do that. That's what they think. It's grandiose delusion and narcissistic entitlement, but they don't care that if the shoes were on the other feet, they wouldn't want to be treated that way. and they don't care to acknowledge that what they're doing to other people is harmful. They feel like people finding a way to seek justice or protection for themselves or to escape the abuse is unfair. They think it's unfair when they can't target a victim the way that they want, and that's crazy. It's unstable. And not crazy as in insanity plea type crazy, because they know enough to try to cover up what they're doing. They don't want people to know in the public that they're thinking this way or behaving this way. They don't want people to know that they've been targeting victims. So they try to cover it up, or they take steps to hide it. 555, showing that they know it's wrong. They know it would be at least frowned upon, at bare minimum, by outside looking in, by the public. And so they seek to conceal it, and that's somebody who's very well aware of what they're doing. And they're aware that it's wrong, and they're aware that if they don't cover it up or be discreet about it, that they'll be in trouble. So that's somebody perfectly rational enough to take accountability. They just don't want to because they know what comes with it. They're not sorry, they're just sorry they got caught. The darkness, yeah, see? Speaking of, turn on the light. The darkness. You've got people on the sidelines. I heard waiting in the wings. You see how the light is shining on him? He's not always in the background, but a lot of the time Bobby is, I think he's here actually, in his cabin. And the boys will call him for information or advice from wherever they are on the road. And they have human helpers and then also guardian angels. Friends on the side also that do their best. Yikes. To be an ally. I just heard misjudged, so somebody who maybe misjudged a bit. But then you've got, it's like the devil, and it's either offspring, or this is the energy I'm getting off of this, yeah, the empty, or the devil and its helpers, assistants, assailants. I also just heard that do nothing but suck the life out of people and situations. Ah, and look. Ackles. Told you. Give it one more shuffle. Dean's amulet. I don't remember that one. Let me double check. It's been a long time since I've seen that series. I may have fallen asleep during that episode. Many years ago. There we go. Sam originally intended to give the amulet Bobby gave him to his father. Ah, that's what it was. I remember him wearing something around his neck as a Christmas present. When his dad didn't show, Sam instead gave the amulet to Dean. Dean instantly loved it. I do remember that. And the Samulet, I don't remember the amulet part of it. I remember the Christmas scenes, how they were often left alone and they did their best to scrounge up Christmas gifts and stuff, even if it was just stuff from the vending machine. It was so sad. 1022. Barricaded in a hotel room with his brother. The amulet became an unofficial symbol of the bond the Winchester brothers share. The golden pendant. Oh, you know what? Didn't there end up being, I'm baking also. Wasn't there a curse on this? Hold on. I think I might have actually seen this one. Let's see if I can pair up the memory that I'm getting. This might be another scene from another show or movie at one point that I saw. I don't remember. But there's one I remember where somebody was wearing, I think this is in many, many movies. Somebody finds a pendant or a necklace and it's like haunted or cursed, or there's a ghost attached to it or something. I don't think this is a uncommon movie thread, but let's see. The gold pendant remained an essential element of his wardrobe until Dean tossed it into a metal trash can when it didn't lead them to God. Unbeknownst to Dean, Sam retrieved the amulet, carrying it for years until they needed it again. Dean later retook possession of it, although he no longer wore it around his neck. Loss is a part of life, but takes comfort in knowing things and people that matter are never truly gone. They come back to us, not always in the same way. That's why I picked up the haunted energy. Also, you know what I've been picking up? The people who stole inheritances of like light workers who had family members, maybe grandparents, or could be anybody. And it doesn't have to be family, but people that they were close with that left them inheritance. When it was stolen by other people, whoever it was left by saw that. It didn't matter that they passed over, because they still had not only attachments to their stuff, but they were bothered that it was not going to who they left it to, that it had been stolen from who they left it to. And so it's misplaced energy, for one. And then also, when they did that, you know how people say rest in peace, spirits are supposed to be at peace, and if they are disturbed, they're at a sense of unrest, right? They're not able to properly rest. Well, imagine that. A true story, bro. I'll use myself as an example. My grandmother died, and I had a crooked aunt and three cousins, three greasy, grimy cousins who stole my inheritance and my daughter's inheritance. And my grandmother's pissed about it. I know it's not just mine, but here's one example of the narrative. It's just easier to explain it this way sometimes. And so, especially, let's say that these are people who were involved with making Divine Feminine and her children struggle. Grandma doesn't like that. Or these were people who sat there and let Divine Feminine and her children struggle, knowing that they were holding her inheritance over her head, which were resources that could have helped her and her kids. Yeah, Grandma doesn't like that. Just the fact that she asked for something to be done, or something was supposed to be left to, let's say, Divine Feminine and her children, and it wasn't, that's an imbalance of energy. If Grandma, her energy's associated with her stuff, because she was very fond of the stuff that was taken also. then it means her energy's been displaced, right? That's a space of unrest. They want spirits to be at rest so that they can either cross over or do whatever it is that they need to do and be at peace. But you see, they did things that created a sense of imbalance and unrest, not only for themselves, but energetically for their lineage too. So there's that. Removed from that are the people who are victimized, right? I say the lineage suffers too, but not the people who are being targeted, because they've already suffered from whatever was done to them. And they didn't choose to steal and target people the way that it was done to them. But there's another movie scene or something, I think maybe, that I'm thinking of, where either somebody found a necklace and it turned out to be cursed or hexed, or like bad luck or evil, or had an evil spirit attachment to it or something. Or they mistreated something and whatever was associated with it was not happy about that, and that's what upset them. It doesn't really matter what the dynamic is, but that's another I've been picking up. So some people upset the ancestors, their ancestors, certainly the divine universe as a whole, because these particular ancestors have been granted specific spirit guide passes. They're kind of like hall passes in spirit. They are like, they're given wings. They're angels. They're given duties as angels. Okay. Let me crack another deck. Let's do this one. Oh, you know what? I went to take care of some things today. And on my way back, I stopped in to grab a couple of things. And I bumped into somebody that I know from years ago, just through someone else. And this is somebody that used to have associations to the person that was like a family member to me. And that person, I stepped away from that person when they got a girlfriend who started drugging my water supply. And I bumped into somebody that also used to have familial associations with this person, and I thought that they still did. But as it turns out, after I stepped away, because I noticed that this person was putting lithium in my water supply, this is a so-called doctor who has access to these types of substances because this is the field specifically that they work in. But I was not a patient. This person, this family member, told me that this person who was putting drugs in my water supply was jealous, which I thought was very strange because they had no reason to be jealous of me. I wasn't a threat, nor did I want to be, not to them, on any level, except for the fact that they were shady and manipulative and sneaky, and that type of person doesn't like light workers and our authenticity and our willingness to face truth and reality, or clear through old cycles and release, aspects, shadow wounds and such. It makes them feel some kind of way. So when they're not ready to face certain things and let things go, and we already have, we trigger those unhealed aspects of themselves, and instead of healing and working on that, they lash out at us. And so that's actually the conclusion about the whole situation that both the person that I spoke with today has come to and myself. So we came to a mutual conclusion on this. But as it turns out, right, so there's this, for me, it was this parental, it was like a father figure, family member kind of a deal. And he had somebody that was a family member to him. And then he got a girlfriend who was, according to him, jealous of me. I thought it was so weird. And I noticed that she was putting lithium that she was getting at her job in my water supply. So I stopped drinking the water supply and I cut ties with the whole situation and all of them. But as it turns out, remember in the beginning of this, I said that I had this father figure structure in my life, and then he had a family member, and that was still associated on some level in his life, and I knew that person through him. Well, that's the person that I bumped into today on my way to do errands. And this person no longer has ties with him either. So, what I learned today was not only did this person start targeting me and trying to drug my water supply, they pushed everyone out of his life. He was paying, this is a multimillionaire, he was paying to fix her roof, this Jezebel karmic. And she bullied all the people who could see through her, would see through her, and that she, for whatever reason, felt threatened by, out of his life. Then he broke his back and became paralyzed, or did something to his back and became paralyzed. And because she had bullied or tried to kill people or chase people or drug people or whatever it was out of his life, combination of which, whatever worked for her, he didn't have anybody around really to help him. I only learned about this a few weeks ago, but because she'd already pushed everybody out of his life. Now, he reached out to me himself to tell me what had gone on. But she wasn't there. She bullied everyone out of his life while he was paying for her existence on levels and paying for her house repairs and the roof to be repaired. Sometimes it's more expensive to repair a roof than it is to tear down a house, build a new foundation, and build from the bottom up. And I know that because that's exactly what they did next door and why they did it. They did roof estimates. It was more expensive to repair a roof than it was to rebuild a brand new, better house, a more energy efficient, bigger house. So they did. Now they have a new house instead of just a new roof on an old house. And it is bigger and it is better. And it's custom designed. So that's nice for them. I think they'll be more comfortable there anyway. But nonetheless. So this karmic came in and bullied all the people out of this masculine's life. And then he became paralyzed. But he bullied us all out of his life. But she wasn't there either. I saw that in the email, there was no mention of her being around. He was saying something about him being all alone up in this big multi-million-dollar mansion house and up on a beautiful mountain that used to be park property, pristine land, but he was all alone because she had infiltrated our family, our little family unit, and bullied everyone away from him. But from reading the email, it didn't seem to me like she was there. It seemed to me that he didn't say this outright, but he was all alone with not even her around. So where was she? She was taking all that money and she wanted him, all to himself, and she was willing to, I mean, she drugged my water supply. She was willing to bully all of the familial support away from him. But then when he became paralyzed, she was gone. No, I did call that. I did notice that in the email a few weeks ago or a month or so ago when I got that. And I mentioned something about that, just discrete details about it here. But what I learned today from the conversation with one of the other people in that little kind of familial unit that he had around him, she bullied all of them away. She bullied everybody away. And the person I spoke with today, who also used to have a family connection with him, they said that not only did this karmic female do it to everybody, but that he was alone. He was alone. She bullied everybody away. It wasn't just me that she targeted. Maybe she didn't target everybody the same way she targeted me, but she did it to all of them. This is what another person who she bullied away said to me today. And then when he hurt his back and became paralyzed and was stuck up on a mountain in a mansion with nobody, she wasn't there. Like, ma'am, where were you? You wanted that dude all to yourself. You had him, you see that orb? Did you see that orb that just flew across the screen? You wanted him all to yourself. He was paying for your roof repairs and your house, and I'm like, what? So anyway, she also sent a cult after me. She didn't even just drug my water supply. She sent the Jehovah's Witness after me after that. $7:22 here on the clock on the East Coast. So bottom line on that is confirmation of truth coming out and exposure of karmic nonsense. Also confirmation of light workers telling the truth and being right, and evidence that we weren't, people tried to say that we were crazy for exposing the targeting, but other victims who were targeted the same way by the same people have been coming out, and we've all been they did it to all of us. Anyway. Somebody says, well, he let her close enough, and like he let her stay and he let her bully people out of his life. Yes, he did. But she was also, I think, being kind of sneaky and manipulative about it. Like I know for a fact that he didn't know that she was drugging my water supply. When it was coming from him, when I would pick it up myself or fill it myself, it didn't have that taste in it. When he would drop it off himself and fill it himself, and she wasn't involved in that process, she wasn't sleeping over at his house, or it wasn't like filled the night before and then sat in the garage in the night to be dropped off in the morning while she slept over, it was fine. But if she stayed the night and they didn't just fill it in the morning and quickly drop it off while he was doing it, and therefore monitoring it, if she stayed the night and had access to it overnight, it tasted funny. And only when she was involved with it, the tower. Yeah, see? And they're catching karma now, Rahu. It's that Rahu energy. 7 of Cups, because people are not confused. King of Spears in reverse. See, they wanted to bury the truth. Or lie. Call people crazy for telling the truth, protecting themselves. Ace of Swords. Yeah, this is not somebody who has any kind of divinity, though. Not at all. You want to tell me about that energy? I don't want to read too much into this, but the moon, secrets exposed. Exactly. 4 of Swords in reverse. Now they're catching no rest. Page of Coins in reverse. Yeah. See, she thought she was going to make little gains by doing this. But she was cut off, I would say. If he was all alone, it means she wasn't there anymore. Either he figured it out and he walked away from her, or she was a snake, and by the time he needed her, she dipped out because she thought she got what she wanted. Judgment in reverse. Yeah, she thought she could just dodge accountability. 5 of Swords in reverse. No, God saw that. Trying to put people out in the cold and cause losses and hurt people. Nine of Coins. Yeah. I hear broke. Broke bitch. She ain't messing with the broke bitch. 4 of Spears. Unhappy home. So he walked away from her, or because she got what she wanted and he was hurt or something. I told you, traitor. 10 of Swords. She abandoned him. Either he caught wind of what she was doing and realized why I walked away, and that she was bullying or pushing everyone else away or causing conflict so that everyone else would have to step away just to have peace in their own life. 8 of Spears in reverse. Or she was shady and grimy, and when he needed somebody to be there for him, she wasn't, because she was a money grubber. This was in reverse, though. 8 of Spears is usually like communication, sometimes arrows of love as well, like Cupid's arrow, communication about love. But this is in reverse, so yeah, it's like either he realized what was going on and decided to reserve himself and his energy, pull back, or the Priestess in reverse. She was a grimy person. She thought she could snake what she wanted from him out from under him, the world. Yeah, Temperance in reverse. And then dip out, or he figured out what it was she was doing and he cut her off. He was an Aries too, so very generous, very like homemaking, host and hostess with the mostest, is that type of an energy. He was an Aries sun, which I understand and resonate and recognize on levels because I have Aries moon. But this is in reverse, so she lacked this balance and structure, and Temperance in reverse it's like she was not hospitable. She was not humane or reciprocal or decent or fair or balanced. There was something off. This is what this card is saying. Or he recognized, I hear that she was being a Jezebel. And so instead of being open and being a good host, he closed his heart and or his home off to her. 3 of Spears in reverse. Yeah, because he saw that wasn't going anywhere, I would say. the Fool. He's not stupid. No, this is somebody who's very intuitive. They're either like really lonely and or disfocused or desperate. You know what it reminds me of is King David, story of King David, and how he wasn't a bad king. What happened, let me just re-summarize really quickly. I heard this song Biblical by Callum Scott the other day. Yeah, Page of Swords. He wasn't bad, he just was misguided, right? He made a misstep. So God had guided King David to build the temple, right? David, the temple of David, the temple of Solomon. And it has reference to the Ark of the Covenant. But then King David he saw her bathing on a roof, her beauty in the moonlight all through you. So he sees this woman and he is enamored with her, and he sends his guards or his army men out to collect her because he wants an audience with her. He wants to speak with her, he wants to spend time with her, etc. But she's married, and whether he knows this or not, his guards go out and they seek to collect her, and her husband says, no, you're not taking my wife anywhere. I don't care if he is the king. That's my wife. She's not available. I know she's beautiful, but she's mine. She's already spoken for. She's taken. We're married. That's it. End of discussion. Please exit my doorway. And instead, David's guards or soldiers or whoever was sent out end up killing, slaughtering the husband. And whether or not it was intentional, God perceived that as, at that point, King David having blood on his hands, and he could not continue to build a divine temple with blood on his hands. So he was required by God, called by God, to give the temple to King Solomon to finish. King Solomon was asked, what do you want? And he said, wealth. He said, wisdom and your love, God. And God said, well, because you're so honorable to me and you're so lovely and even sweet and humble, I'm going to give you more wealth than you could possibly want, and a beautiful wife. Just two things: don't worship false idols, deities, gods, and don't lust after other women. And unfortunately, he worshipped false deities. He worshipped demons at that, in God's eyes, in order to lust after other women, meaning that he wanted to create a harem, and that was a no-no anyway, because God already told him not to do things like that. Don't lust after other women. And he went to their fathers and said, can I have access to your daughters to add to my harem? Can I collect your daughters, basically? And their father said, if you convert to our religion and demonic practices, then sure. And he said, I'm not doing that. And they said, well, at least burn some, I think it was like beetle wings or shells or something, burn some of this stuff as an offering. And he said, okay, but in God's eyes, that was worshiping them. And so he committed one violation in order to fulfill the other. He worshipped false deities in order to lust after other women, or he was lusting after other women, which led him to accept worshiping other deities, idols, etc. Either way, he was not able to continue to grow the kingdom either, because, well, he was in a low frequency space. So the star And this is why you've had karmics targeting light workers, because we've been seeking to elevate out of that type of energy or away from that type of energy. We've been seeking this divine alignment, and from these people trying to knock us off of our square, because this is a divine calling, you see. Yeah, see, they wanted to try to block our movement forward by causing such heartbreak that we wouldn't be able to open up to a space of love. 5 of Cups. Yeah. But they can't keep people from taking losses. 8 of Swords. It's an illusion that they're stuck. 10 of Swords in reverse. Yeah, the burdens that they try to place on others' backs not only have backfired onto their own, but have backfired. The Priest, yeah, and they're catching hell for trying to claim that there's something that they're not. And the karma for them also is that light workers get extra blessings at this point. Okay, so that's that one. Let's see, shall we? Make my water with lemon and lime. That's 'cause they're better combined. Kinda like us, you and I. You are a fruit, should be a fine apple. You and me belong together like cold iced tea and warm weather. Gonna stay up late underneath the pine. We'll still have fun when the sun won't shine. You and me belong together. Okay, espionage. So I picked that up also earlier today. I picked up something about undercover cops. You have these karmics. This is really funny actually to me. They thought that they were going to be slick, and it turns out that there were federal agents in some cases who actually had the scoop on what they were doing. But these people who were trying to infiltrate other people's lives or systems, right? Like just talked about that, trying to isolate victims and take what they wanted. They've been exposed. They've been exposed. Employee. Okay. Traveler. Somebody that traveled to their job or for their job. Something about revoking that hospitality. Magician. Right. Alchemizing the situation. Right. Because there actually is love here. These people were not very smart. They were trying to create displacement for people. Oh, like maybe drugging somebody's water supply to actually make them unstable. Yeah, it's not very sovereign of them. The Fool. And we didn't fall for it. Cause your mama don't dance and your daddy don't rock and roll. Okay, that's interesting. So whoever was targeting was doing this because they can't sing. They can't cook very well. It seems like they were jealous. Because all the people around them actually can. Oh, that makes sense. Thought that they were smart, but no. Yeah, well, they got caught. They were not smart enough to dodge detection, and they thought that they were going to spy on people to figure out, volunteer, how to force their way into people's lives or force people out. Wow, what did I say? Doctor in reverse, yeah. And so this is, her name is Dr. Christy Emai Doyle. She's got a office in Ellsworth, Maine, and she's a psychiatrist or something who, according to this past family member person, she works with the most extreme of extreme patients, like the most extremely volatile and or suicidal and or like violent issue patients. And so she has access to those types of drugs and then some, lithium and all kinds of different stuff at her job. Betrayal. Thought that they'd get away with it, but nope. All those, and then sent, what did I tell you? The Jehovah's Witness after me. Drugs and alcohol. Swindler. Writer. Yeah, it's a bad thing for them to do. I received letters in the mail from Jehovah's, and they were not just writing, wow, look. Wow, this is the last card. They were not just writing Jehovah's Witness, like normal things specifically, and I only started getting harassed by them after this, and this family member told me that she is part of that church cult. But I started getting, I can actually link photos of this. I still have copies of them in the cabinet, but I can link the digital photos in the description box when I'm done. And in this, she specifically sends targeted references telling me to go to the Jehovah's Witness website, to the section about like home and family and parenting. So they're specifically targeting me and trying to call me a bad wife and a bad mom because I refused to tolerate domestic abuse, and I had the audacity to stand up for myself and my child, because this is somebody who did not do that, and they're in their cult. They believe that women should just shut up and like basically be seen and not heard. Mormons are often like this too. Women are seen to be inferior. So no. Cult, bunch of swindlers, hood rats. I didn't give a flying mofo. You know what I did? Took the name of the person who was harassing me via mail, and I called their cult headquarters directly, and I left a number of scathing, multiple minute long voicemails until they left me the hell alone. Boo! Spooked the cult members out of business. Just leave people alone. You know, people don't want to deal with that. It makes you look like buttholes, right? Like harass people through the mail. Look. Freaking crazy. Yeah, all because I have the audacity to stand up against abuse and people like that. Yeah, there are light workers who see that what's up. They don't support what these people have done. They do support me though, right? They either, the support networks are coming out of the woodworks now to support, like not secretly, openly now, and or also there's people who thought that they were going to manipulate and target people in the dark, so to speak. Yeah, no, we rip the masks right off of them, or God does. Night, look, but I feel like it's more about support networks coming through now. How cool. These people made bad gambles. Uh-huh. Yeah, see, they tried to target an entrepreneur. They stumbled, though, over their own feet, didn't they? Nope, told you, drugs and alcohol. So is this, you're talking about that they're drugging people, or also that they use drugs and or drink? Like, is that, are you saying that they're just okay with drugging people? Or are you saying that this is the type of person who is an alcoholic and so they have no qualms about going and drugging people? I hear both. That's a problem. Researcher in reverse. Yeah, this is somebody who claims to be like a lab tech or a psychiatrist or doctor came out in reverse. So this is a fraud. Because they were targeting somebody for being different. Right? Jehovah's Witness think that mediumship and stuff like that is the devil. So she was trying to put me in my place. No, crazy pants. Stranger. I know who you are. Christy Emai Doyle in Ellsworth, Maine. Christy with a CH. Child. Yep. Targeting a mother and children. Also, her son jumped off of a bridge. Her husband was, according to what this family member who she was latching onto and taking money from told me, her ex-husband was abusive to her, and her eldest son bore a lot of it, bore the brunt of it out of the rest of the kids. And then he ended up on bath salts and then jumping over a bridge in the park, actually, or going over the side of it, and he died. Community, yeah. And so you'd think that another woman who's apparently being abused or been abused would understand another woman who's being abused, but no, she chose to jump in and target, which I just find wild, projecting that over and over again. Like, if I had to go through it, you do too. Yeah, that's why you're a bad doctor. You're not a doctor at all. Ma'am. For starters, demonic, possessed. And secondarily, I see it all the time. It's like if somebody's upset that they don't have their child, they'll target someone else or someone else's kid, or both. They'll target someone else and their child, or they'll try to target someone else's child to upset the parent because they feel like since they felt pain, they want another parent to feel pain. It's really crazy, but that's what they do. It's very narcissistic, and they try to community that gang stalking, that cult behavior and mentality, right? So the whole thing with this Jehovah's reference is, again, the direct trying to shame somebody for standing up against abuse. In their, she didn't stand up for her child or herself. She stayed in it for like 30 years and then misjudged or judged me for getting out of it much, much sooner. 5322. She stayed in it for 30 years. I got out of it in just a couple. Or at least I left it. Didn't mean the abuse didn't continue to try to chase me, but nonetheless, she chose to stay there for 30 years. Her son, her eldest son, bore the brunt of it, and it's all projection. Child, coach, she did not set a good example. That particular child was on bath salts and then went over the side of a multiple story bridge and died on the rocks below. Right, but she wants to sit there and try to bully another and bully a divine feminine for walking away from abuse when staying in abuse led her to that in her also miserable lifestyle. Guide in reverse. She's not anybody to be leading anybody. Painter in reverse. You know what I noticed also? She's latched onto someone who's a multimillionaire, but he's very smart. He's a traveler. He's creative. He's an architect on levels to a degree. Like he's a designer. but he's also an artist. And the person who I ran into today, this other family member of this person that was like a father figure to me, that this Jehovah's person also bullied out of his life, she's actually an artist by profession. That's like her whole thing. That's what she does. Just that's it. That's all that she does. And so this karmic female, this Jezebel energy, she's, I would say, probably not creative. Thought she was smart enough to get a medical degree, but is mistreating and abusing people, and specifically targeting artists. If not to steal from them, then to bully them away because she's jealous of them. The one I bumped into today was a female. Myself, also a female. So she bullied 2 female artists away from this masculine energy who she latched onto and wanted to get money from and wanted his, you know. But the thing about that is I wasn't a threat to her. He was a family member to me. I had no interest in him. And neither did this other family member of his who was also bullied away from him, apparently, that I bumped into today. And she said that it wasn't just us. It was everybody, including some of her family who is his family. I mean, she tried to push everybody away. It's giving narcissist to me, madman. And then the conversation today, this was somebody who also understands the spiritual realm, this person I bumped into. I did say that, possession. They asked me, you think it's like this person, if they're working with the most extremely psychotic, like delusional, violent, suicidal patients in need of the most extreme medications like lithium and then some. This is the question that this person who was also bullied out of this masculine's life asked me today. Do you think that this karmic female was basically what she was saying? Do you think that this karmic female is absorbing all of the energy, all of this psychotic energy from her patients at the medical office, and then not healing it, not processing it out, and then just embodying it and basically inflicting it on other people like us? And I would say that she probably had some stuff going on there anyway. I know she had some insecurities, body image issues. She had trouble gaining weight. And obviously she's got issues with, like, she feels like other women are threatening towards her, and it's just very strange. Or people in general. I don't know exactly what her whole issue is. Or maybe I do, but either way. Yeah, she's too old to be behaving like that. I do think that that's part of it, right? She's not a spiritually in touch person. She doesn't seem to be a humanely in touch person either. I think she lacks empathy, and I think she projects. And I think she may have already had some issues before that, but yeah, I definitely think that she's probably absorbed a lot of the possession energy, or like dark spiritual attachments and things that a lot of those people that she comes into contact with have or have had, and then never cleanses her space, never clears her energy, never. So that was what this person asked me. I know what happened to me happened to you, basically, is what she said. But do you think that this person is picking up nasty energy from the people that they are coming into contact with at their job, and then mistreating all of us because of that? Yes and no. I think she's got issues. But yeah. So that was the question that I was asked today. My answer is yes. Anything else? very sad, honestly. The whole thing is just sad, I think. Repairman. Yeah. Player. Manipulative. So there's healing that needs to be done here. This is somebody who was trying to be charming to get what they wanted. But now they did damage. Now there's damage that has to be done. Barber just came out in reverse. This person might be insecure about their hair. I've been picking up alopecia Reiki a lot lately. Educator in reverse. This is not somebody smart. Security guard in reverse. This is somebody who thought that they had some kind of authority but didn't. Reader in reverse, and they were targeting readers, or they thought that readers were bad, or they thought that they were reading the situation or people clearly, and they weren't. Anything else? Spiritual seeker, gang in reverse, soldier in reverse, civil servant. They are targeting real spiritual people, real artists and spiritual people, and or people joining a cult. Yeah, no, she's wearing headphones over here. Just tuning into the universe. People who choose not to be part of that gang mentality, people who choose not to use that abrasive, forceful, toxic energy because it's not beneficial to anybody, certainly not humanity. And we're not going to take it. No, we're not gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore. Heard. We're not going to sit there and tolerate being bullied or abused, especially by criminals. That was criminal behavior. And so the hunter becomes the hunted, and Uno reverse. Checkmate. We're not gonna take it anymore. Stay seated, Christy. Yeah, she's got no legal defense either. Trying to target musicians and artists. Real spiritual people. You know, she's got twin daughters too. They're in college, I think. They're about my age, a little bit younger, I believe. I heard that. I thought you said, I said her son died. She's got two twin daughters. I said he bore the brunt of the husband's abuse. I think he might have also had did he have alcohol addictions? I don't remember. I'm not going to claim that if I don't recall. I feel like he may have. And that kept coming out. Wouldn't surprise me, but either way. Also, I don't wish her harm. I still don't. But I want justice for everybody. Also, I mean, I'm sure his feelings were really hurt because she tried to play up on him to manipulate him and isolate him from people that actually had his back. And she's the one who didn't. And then when he needed somebody, she wasn't there, but he had already bullied. She had already bullied everybody away from him. And beyond and besides that point, just for context, given all of that, I can imagine that that was very sad and lonely for him to sit in that and have to remember and think and process why he was alone. I think that's sad. Clean up. Yeah, she made a mess and then just dipped out, it seems like, or he had to cut her off because he peeped game. Oh. man-made disaster. It was intentional. And I saw it coming. Or he or she was concerned that people would see it coming. Intuition in reverse. Yeah. They weren't seeing or thinking very clearly. Now I'm sure they're trying to dip out or away from the situation, or they did, right? Got what they wanted and then left. Caused destruction or damage, or weren't there for the people who they took from. They have no argument. There was no justice in that. Giving Jezebel. It's not a crime of passion. That was planned out. They thought they were being sneaky. And they were trying to kill somebody. They were trying to kill people. And it wasn't an accident. Oh, and you know what I know? That family member that this person bullied me away from, they put me in their will. I let go of all of it, the whole situation, and I said, don't forget to take me out. That's fine. Water. All right, let me cool off the fire that they started. But this person valued and trusted me, and also my psychic gifts and abilities, to the point where they wanted to and were willing to. I didn't ask. They just pulled me aside one day and told me that they'd put me in their will. Like, oh, okay. And then this karmic pops up on the scene. Pushes people that he trusted to the point of putting them in his will. Bullies those people away to try to get access to him, to take what she wanted from him. And then he arches back to the point where he's paralyzed and she's nowhere to be seen. 6722, whether it's because he knew, especially in that state, that he couldn't trust her, or because she wasn't there or reliable. But she bullied the people who were away. Heard that. He put you in his will, yes. Money cannot buy all the love that's here tonight. So anyway, they have no argument. Legal proceedings in reverse. There's no look, love, told you. Money cannot buy outer space. These were spiritual connections. Homicide. I'm telling you, it was not an accident. And these people have been either caught spying and surveilling, or they thought that they were slick, and they are not. Female. Right? She was being a big, mean, toxic bully. Her revenge tactics worked as well. I wouldn't consider that very womanly. Couple in reverse. Drugs and poison. What did I tell you? Because they split up anyway. Otherwise, the email he sent wouldn't have talked about him being alone up there and having no help after injuring his spine. And the family member that was also bullied out of his life that I crossed paths with today wouldn't have also said something about him finally getting the help that he needed. And I'm hearing a question, why didn't you help? Because I didn't know about it. I just learned about it a few weeks ago when he emailed me. Because like I said, I'd already been bullied away. I wasn't going to put up with it. I walked away. Aliens. Hidden. Yeah, see? This is a very intuitive person. This is also somebody who absolutely believes in aliens. So he probably took a different path. This is somebody who has also taken the path of solitude and monkhood and celibacy for many, many years. And so this walking away from somebody that they realize isn't good for them, when they realize this is not a person that's good for them, really isn't a thing. This is somebody who might have to feel their feelings, but they are also disciplined enough to have, once aware, a very keen concept of the art of non-attachment. And they used to say something about when you love something, you know, you hold it in your heart and then you let it go, or like a moment or an experience. And it's kind of what I ended up having to do. It's how I explained it today with the situation. You hold it in your heart and then you let it go. And it's kind of like how parents, they love their children so much and they hold them close to their heart, but they also can't keep them, you know, little or trapped or stuck in the house forever. So eventually their kids grow up and they have to let them kind of wander like adults in the world, and they still hold them in their heart, but they let them go. That's one example that I'm picking up. And well, I had to do that. I'm also picking up that somebody wanted somebody to be like drugged so that they could try to suffocate them in their sleep without a fight. Somebody who wanted to keep this off of social media or targeted somebody on social media. Money, power supply. Oh no, no. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Hold on, I just picked something up. My heart is jumping. Mind control. It's in reverse. Told you. Say they were trying to drug people. Water supply. And the water card came out upright, right? Fire in reverse. They wanted people to be hot-tempered, or to claim people were hot-tempered or something. Or unstable. Surveillance. And then they were trying to watch to see if it was working. I'm picking up that they, look, fire. They wanted to destroy, maybe destroy evidence. So they wanted to try to get people locked up, maybe in a mental hospital. And then if they did that, then they wanted to take people out, like murderously, and maybe sedate them and then strangle them or something, and then claim that it was something else. There was some kind of malicious intent there. It's not for everybody, of course, but what I just picked up, and I did grab another deck of cards to check on this with, was something about the dark web, social media in reverse, strangulation in reverse. So money, though, they wanted to do this, and this is giving dark web energy to me. And I heard snuff film. So unfortunately, there are nasty people on the internet, on the dark web or the black web, that either like sexual assault content or content about murder and things like that. And so, yeah, I'm not even going to go down that route, other than to say that some types of criminals and perverts have a niche. Yeah, look, the arrival of the pizza. It's giving like the QAnon reference, but Pizzagate, look, sex with animals in reverse. And I just picked up something again the other day about that, the order, that cult. And there was somebody, I know who this is actually too, who left a comment from their account where they were claiming they were part of this the order cult, saying nobody insults the order and gets away with it, but it's a polygamist cult. And some of the people involved in this have no problem either harming kids or animals. There's also incest in this cult. 7522. And this person who came on to my account, actually on this account, and left comments in one of my live feeds, said something. They left 2 comments. One of them was from a username that had something about cannabis in it. And they said that they tried to make some kind of negative statement about weed. I'm like, what do you mean? How are you going to sit there and try to take digs at cannabis when your username says that you smoke it? What are you talking about? First of all, you look stupid. Guess what? That's what happens when you inbreed. Because I don't think it's just about the way they look. In fact, statistics show that inbred people are often disabled in some way, shape, or form, even if it's just that they have really low IQs. Either way, this person came on. I still have the screenshots, and said something about having sex with a dog on their second comment. First comment was trying to say something nasty to me about cannabis while their handle was a cannabis handle. And the second comment was about having sex with dogs. First of all, why would your brain go there at all? Second of all, why would your brain go there first? It's a character statement. It's just not a good one. 7722. For those who don't know what a snuff film is, also because somebody I just picked up doesn't have a clue what I'm talking about, that is unfortunately where some people have a sexual attraction or fixation to people being assaulted and harmed or unfortunately murdered. It's really gross, but they do. I heard that. What kind of person has those types of fantasies? Either probably serial killers or people who are prone to become them, I would say. Something of the sort. All right, let's see. Pulling from a stack of 600 cards right now, so we will... I'm telling you. It's like perverted. These are perverted people. Something to do with murder and sex, or like the sex organs. It's like a power trip. That's gross. No freaking way. Okay, I've had this deck for a couple of years now, I think. Okay, long before the Diddy cases have come out. In case you don't know, there was a reference of, and it's gross, but the Diddy, I'm having a hard time speaking about this. Hold on, I need to pause. It's just made my stomach turn. And there was this whole thing where in order to be able to get into a Diddy party, they apparently were making people like audition by seeing if they could put a hard-boiled egg. Divine Masculine says, please don't tell me you're going to say up their booty hole. Yes, unfortunately. To see if basically they were fit for the job. We'll just leave it that way. I don't think that's the right way to put it, but I don't even know how to, I don't know. Just to see. Anyway, so there's a whole thing about that. And before somebody's like, I don't know if I believe that, Google, who was it? Was it Ashton Kutcher? There's a picture of them at some kind of like Hollywood gathering on some kind of red carpet event or something. Why do they have to tell me why? I think it's Ashton Kutcher has holding a hard-boiled egg. Yeah. Okay. Now you see why they had all the lube. Yeah. So I genuinely I actually tried to find some pineapple today for smoothies. And the ones I wanted were out at the grocery store. That's actually where I bumped into this person at the store today too. But for those who don't know, and many people might not know, and I actually learned about this only, I think, last year, there's a whole thing with people who are interested in swingers cults and parties or swingers groups, and their symbol is, I think it's is it an upside down or a right side up? It's a pineapple. It's one or the other though. So how many people just go around because they like pineapples or because I mean, they just like pineapples, whether it's on a Hawaiian shirt or it's on a logo on like a hat or it's whatever, a fun sticker, whatever. And they don't know that there are people in the world who look for pineapples as indicators as to whether or not other people are also swingers. It's like this weird secret swinger group symbol. And I saw this post a number of months ago where this girl right here, she got a tattoo, I believe it was on her arm, of a pineapple, and I don't remember if it was upside down or right side up, but whichever way she had it tattooed was the same way that the sex group swingers, the secret symbol, is supposedly said to be. And so somebody asked her like why she had a polygamist or a swinger group symbol tattooed on her arm, and it had nothing to do with that. She genuinely just liked pineapples to the point where she had them tattooed on her. But yeah, well, whoops. So there's the whole thing. And then there's that Pizzagate thing. And now if you understand the whole thing with the Diddy reference, collectively speaking, I think we're just talking about people who target children and try to hide their crimes. And Fire came out, they wanted to hide their crimes. There were also warnings that now that the Diddy tapes and the secrets had come out, that there would be distractions and attempted fires, and that's been happening. So pizza, the reference of that QAnon, it's called a theory about Pizzagate. But now that there's an awareness of the fact that Bieber has been involved with the whole Diddy situation, if you look back, there were a lot of references to that. I saw this whole, like somebody had made a video and clipped together all these different references through the course of a specific time period, things that he'd been posting or things in his videos. And one of them was that he started posting stuff about pizza a lot. And it was, I believe, around the time all that Pizzagate stuff started coming out. It's like he had something to say without really being able to say it, so... or without choosing to say it out loud. I think I need to actually grab a different stack. Let's do that. Parties. These are people who abuse children. They're toxic. If it's karmic females involved, these also may be people who abuse men. Cardi B has had a tendency to assault men in the past. Not speculatively, she has admitted this herself, laughing about how she set men up to be sexually assaulted at that, and robbed. Like, she would drug them, get them all messed up, and then she would have them set up to be assaulted by usually a transgendered person, and then they would rob him. Gross. She said she would do that in like a hotel room. I would say that that's the kind of stuff that probably played out, especially if they were drugging people. It's gross. These people are unstable. These types of people that have been coming after light workers, they're unstable. They're the types of people who scream at the top of their lungs for their gun rights, but at the same time, they're targeting peaceful people and like either abusing technology or they're just freaking nuts, dude. Becoming one with the T-Mobile network. Do you hear yourself? Get real. Get real. Or these are people who think it's like giving like erotomania or Declarenbolt syndrome. And so let's say that somebody's sitting there at their house watching the TV, and the weatherman comes on and they think that he's hot and they start fantasizing about him. These are the people who will imagine a whole relationship with the weatherman that they've never met on the TV, and they'll think that they're together and it's this whole fantasy in their head, but they don't know the difference or can't tell the difference between a delusion and reality, or they got lost in the sauce of it all. I'm picking up also that karmics are either dealing with drugs and alcohol themselves, or they're trying to push that on light workers, like they're substance abusing themselves. That's gross. There's been reference of that coming out in Hollywood too. My stomach just turned like weird. I told you, people have their kinks. It's gross. MGK was one of them. Also, what was his name? Benny Blanco. I think that's gross. I don't know. I don't. He sketches me out, dude. I don't get heebie-jeebies from him a little bit. Yeah, these are people who are, they put kids in danger. They're just careless or reckless or negligent. The death penalty or intentionally harmful, and this is why they're catching flack for it. Sounds like a crime against humanity to me. Those are punishable by death. Pepsi. This is somebody who might be a Pepsi drinker. Specifically, here it is. You know what, I was smelling cigarettes earlier too? Nicolas Cage. I just saw that movie, a flash of it. The one where he's, what is it, like hunting treasures and people are after him and because they want the treasure for themselves. There was another reference too. What was it? Phoenix, Dark Phoenix, a movie. And there, in this movie, there's a reference of this girl who wants another girl's power or her destiny, or she wants some kind of blessing or treasure that's for, it's meant for this one particular person, and she tries to take it, right? Tries to take the power that's supposed to go to this one, let's say it's divine feminine, right? Karmic females trying to take the power that's supposed to go to divine feminine. Well, she couldn't handle it. It wasn't meant for her. So in this analogy, like she tried to siphon some kind of actual energetic gift or power or blessing from the divine feminine or away from wherever it was being stored and saved for the divine feminine. And when she tried to embody it herself, she self-destructed. The gift was too powerful for her and it destroyed her. It burned her up from the inside out. That fire card, yeah. Can't handle the heat. Look, Oedipus complex. This is something to do with like projecting onto children. And then also the Kardashians are right tied in with the Diddy scandals and stuff in a number of ways, in fact. And there's talk about them being involved with the whole thing with Britney Spears as well. Before anybody brushes it off as just a conspiracy, they all share a couple of things, including labels and like managers, financial managers and label managers. And there was money that went missing from a trust, one of Britney's accounts. And at the same time, that same amount of money showed up. Like, I think the reference was, seemed like Britney's money was taken, given to Kim and the Kardashians, and they held it or they invested it or they put it somewhere because they had that same amount of money that popped up. And then years later, when it wasn't like hot anymore, they removed it or they gave it to the label or gave it back to the label or something. All the same people involved. And it's like the thought process is that this was money that was being paid out for helping lock Britney up or get Britney put in a conservatorship. I think it was Lou was one of the managers. She helped with that. Or the theory, the thought process is that she helped with that. Or the evidence said that she thought she helped with that. I forget all of the details now, but there's too much of a connection here for it to be glazed over. And so the thought is that Britney's money went missing to pay people out for helping put her in that position in the first place, but they couldn't just take it because it would look funny. They were worried people would trace it right to them and figure out that it was a whole conspiracy. So it was given to people to sit on. It seemed like it was invested in one business or another, or put in one place or another, and then years later it was taken out and then given back to the label, given back to that manager, and it was just holding it. It looks like goblins just popped out on the bottom. And they seem to be at the center of all of this stuff. But you see, they've always been willing to do grimy things and throw people under the bus in order to Yeah, or try to get pregnant to get attention or get what they want. It's really sad. And all of them do it at the expense of other people. And the ones that put out makeup and cosmetics, it's just like basic advertising laws. You're not allowed to put out false advertisement. You're not allowed to put on filters on your videos and stuff when you're advertising for makeup and skincare. Like, you're not allowed to advertise how great your skincare is and then put on a blurring filter. You know, it needs to be genuine and authentic. And they all do that. They all do stuff like that. Kylie Jenner had a whole bunch of little girls doing those like shot glass challenges or those challenges to try to plump up their lips because she was convincing people that her lips were natural when she very evidently got fillers. And these little girls were doing this, and in some cases destroying their lips or hurting themselves. In some cases, shot glasses broke glass in people's faces when they were doing this. And it doesn't really matter whether you think that they should have done that or shouldn't have done that or should have known better. A lot of these were younger girls who were looking up to this person who was claiming one thing when they were really being dishonest about the fact that they were getting plastic surgery, and other people were trying to follow suit in what they perceived as a safe way to do it, and it wasn't natural at all. And how many people, if she had just either told people that she was getting cosmetic procedures, or she just chose to love herself the way she naturally was and encouraged other people to do the same, how many of those little girls do you think would have not chosen to do that? I think a lot, if not all of them. It's deceptive business practice, and it's illegal. There's something about holding kids hostage. You know what? I'm picking up that in some cases, especially if you've been dealing with racism, there are people like newscasts and or, you know, that came out earlier, journalists, people who want to hear what has happened. 9822. I'm hearing advocacy program or help also. They may have some sort of help that they want to offer. Anything else? Yeah, police brutality is being put to rest so people know about the dirty cops. Also about these people being involved with these like polygamy or these group sex things. A certain je ne sais quoi. They don't have it. It's why they target people that doing crimes in reverse, but it's why they're being stopped. Getting I picked up 3 channels. Some of them are not funny. So one is like the light workers just innocently honoring their inner child, hanging out, maybe putting on a lighthearted movie and just resting. 2 is these karmics are very immature. The 3rd one is not funny. I picked up that pedophilia crap again, and I don't like that very much at all. Vehicular manslaughter, Viagra. So somebody who's not safe, possibly a drug addict, but definitely a pervert who apparently has a problem. Oh goodness, I'm ready to be done with this deck. Let's see. I'm here. I love you, and I'm super grateful for the help. But let's clear this energy. This one got a little wild. Okay, one more. So either this is what they wanted for other people. No, I'm hearing, yeah, yes, this is what they wanted for other people. But no, this is those freak accident situations, but they're not freak accidents because it's their karma coming back to them. Seems like they're catching freak accidents, but really it's when these people thought that they got away with their crimes, the universe is making sure they're caught up one way or the other. Divine providence. God saw that. Yeah, I hear, I don't like what you did to my light workers, and it doesn't matter whether you think you are righteous or pious, you're wrong. You were wrong. Touch not mine anointed, do my prophets no harm. Just heard something about the Danube River again. Oh, you know what? I think that runs through Turkey, right? Yeah, well, there was that. I finished the series. I'm watching one right now called Spinning Out. And you know what? Actually, it's about a girl who was injured. She ended up getting like head trauma. And she ended up getting kind of PTSD from it as well. She's a dancer. 10222, an ice dancer. And hold on, let me remember these references. I picked up a couple parallels in the messages. So she gets flashbacks. She also has people bullying her because they want her spot. She's very talented though. And it's like the Leap movie that the kids, speaking of the kids putting on a lighthearted movie, the kids movie Leap. In this movie, there's an orphan, and her mother was a beautiful ballerina, and she was very gifted, but she died. And so this little girl was orphaned, and she was very frail and not very kindly taken care of. But she ran away from the orphanage and tried to get into this dance academy. It's a very prestigious dance academy. And the housekeeper or the cook there, she used to be a dancer, was injured herself, and kept her place there, her living residence, by, even though she couldn't dance or pay tuition anymore that way, she was upkeeping the place. And so she sees this spark in this young orphan who's been left with no one. Obviously, she resonates. Her tuition wasn't being paid by anyone because she didn't have anybody to pay it at that point, which is why she was keeping house. Get off of there. So, speaking of, there was just a monitoring spirit on the wall. Guess what? It's not there anymore. Monitoring spirit, though. I used that card to get it to clear it off, and I didn't realize which card I was using to do that, but that's the one that came out. Speaking of, look, nature. Notice the signs from nature. That's so funny. These people wanted to cause damage to your, this is an abundance deck, your money, or stress you out, cause you losses. They want you to be upset and bothered. Some of these people have been working together to do this. It's a bunch of mainstream losers, though. They're communicating. They think they're clever. They're not, I hear. Conflict. Thinking they're clever to create conflict. So keep your composure. Yeah, change is ahead. They're bad gamblers, but you keep pushing no matter what they try to make you feel like. Yeah, they can't do it. They can't get away with it. Some of them are trying to do this because they don't want to be in trouble for stealing inheritance. So they're trying to double down on the attacks, or they're trying to make people look or sound crazy so that people won't take them credibly about the inheritance theft and stuff. But back to the Leap movie. So this woman speaks to this little girl, and she says that the other girl that's there, she's wealthy, her mom pays all her tuition, she has had proper nutrition and gets enough rest and has all the classes and has muscular strength and the training that she's built for years, but what she doesn't have is natural organic flow and passion. She might have all the movements down, but she lacks. When she strings them together, it's very rigid. It looks very robotic and rigid and broken. She lacks true passion and spirit. And so this woman told the orphaned girl, you know, this other girl may have all of this other stuff and the training and what have you that you have not had. So it's going to take hard work and effort and training for you to gain the muscle strength and get what you need to do, especially since this girl has had everything given to her and has had an easier time because of that on levels. But you have something that she doesn't have, something that can't be bought or faked or trained or taught, and that's true natural talent and passion. And it does make a difference. 107.22. That's why they can't get away with it. That's why they're having trouble healing as a result of trying to block other people's healing. Yeah. That's why light workers are coming together in greater, higher connections. And they couldn't stop anything. It's why the connections that these people tried to make to block us have blocked them now. Watch out, it's in reverse. So there's nothing to worry about because you already know what they were up to anyway. Skills, jealous of your talents and skills. But you see, these are also conflict in reverse. What give you the ability, composure in reverse? That's why they're flipping out. To clear through these people, see, they tried to uproot the security, but they've just threatened their own by trying to tamper with other people's mainstream. They're basic. These people are sellouts. Talent in reverse, and they're not talented. Discovery in reverse, and they're mad. They wanted to keep the light workers hidden. It's like they wanted to bully people offline or out of existence because they didn't want people to notice the transformation or the potential. Blessings in reverse. Lucky in reverse. See, they didn't learn their lesson, so they get no blessings, which means they don't feel very lucky because it's not about luck, it's about alignment. And when you're in alignment, it does seem like things more easily just click into place, balance, but that's not where they were. They were not in alignment. Things are not just clicking into place because they thought that they were slick and they weren't. They had no faith in the divine, or they tried to destroy other people's faith in the divine. So things are not going to flow for them because all they did was try to disturb other people's flow. That's what they sent out. They're not mature. They didn't learn their lesson. They tried to cause damage. They didn't expect light workers to be able to adjust. They didn't expect survivors to adapt. 109.22 objective. They were trying to hit their target by making gains on other people's hard work or stepping on other people, or by trying to block other people's blessings and try to take their options or choices away from them, right? By blocking. Wow. Blocking. Wow. See, they were jealous, blocking a light worker who they feel is charming, who they knew would be moving forward in life or into a different actual location, who is spiritual and gifted and magical, who they find stylish and fancy, interesting, clever, smart. I hear anything. I hear she could make a paper bag look good. Anything she wears, she does it with class and style. I don't understand how she looks good all the time. This is a karmic speaking about a divine feminine. And I don't think it's just about her physical appearance. I think they're talking about even her energy. And I hear, yes, they are. There's a karmic who says, oh, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get you for that. Yeah, okay, immature. I see a karmic trying to make a false police report or a false report or something on a divine being. We'd always go into it blindly. I needed to lose. Or what was it? I needed to hate you to find me. And I needed to lose you to love me. It's not about hating anybody though. It's not hatred, it's just indifference. Nonchalance. You just know better than to settle. Let's see. Solar energies, alchemical gold, transfiguration. What did I say? Picked up the Nile earlier too. Water, but also the Danube is crossing over here. It's a 22 card. It's a twin flame number. Air. Okay, so there's divine blessings also. Healing for the lovers I'm picking up also. Interesting. Yeah, what did I say about Osiris earlier? It came out earlier too. Protector, mother energy, tree of life. Yeah, see there's Anubis. That's why I pulled this deck out yesterday. And Osiris again. Also mother, protector, nurturer energy. A couple more fell out. Let's see, what is this? Solar and lunar energy. So divine masculine and feminine both came out. Blood mysteries, divine timing. I picked that up also. Some of these karmics trying to do spell work, blood magic, death magic, and then also the ancestors, the lineages, being not very thrilled at some of these people. Medicine woman for targeting divine feminine integration. Yeah. Said in my case, for example, grandma's not thrilled about it. She was a Virgo. I mentioned Rahu also today. And then there's the Thoth energy. So this is also the hearts of these people. It's a reference of Rahu. It's like the scales of Ma'at. So balance, heart being light as a feather. If you're pure-hearted and good, then your deeds and the things in your life should balance out based on the weight of your heart. But if you have a heart full of darkness and heaviness, bad deeds, then it's not going to be a balanced, light-hearted scale. Your heart's not going to be as light as a feather. You see that heart there? Yeah, you see? Okay, well, Thoth ties into the reference of, I mentioned this the other day, Tahuti's curse. And there's a reference of these people trying to dodge karma and accountability, you see. But they can't. Rahu is about, it's about dharma, can bring about good positive influences and fortune, but also it brings about, it's a karmic reference. It's really a balance of you reap what you sow. And they didn't sow good seeds. While they're drowning, the Nile just popped out again. There she goes. Queen Mother of us all, the Holy Queen Mother, embodied manifestation of love. 116:22. Egyptian version of Aphrodite in a sense. Also Freya in another. Let's see. You know what? I've got one more deck here, but I hear Angels by, I'll pull this one out too while I'm here. There must be angels saving our grace. There must be heaven. There must be heaven in this hell that I'm living, 'cause heaven seems to be so forgiving. There must be angels guiding our way. There must be angels saving our grace. What did I tell you about the Dark Phoenix movie? Okay. Phoenix Rising, rebirth, fire energy. So in this movie, you have it's like a divine feminine energy, and a karmic female's jealous of her, and divine feminine has blessings and this new powerful spiritual ability that's coming to her, and this karmic female wants it for herself. She's trying to destiny swap and energy harvest, but when she tries to take this power or siphon this gift that's supposed to go towards this divine feminine and take it for herself, imagine like in the Little Mermaid movies how Ursula sucks the voice out of Ariel and tries to put it in herself. Well, it's not coded for her. It's like putting diesel fuel in a vehicle that takes regular gasoline. You're going to destroy that engine. That vessel will not run anymore. It's not meant for them. Destroys them from the inside out. And it did. She tried to siphon a power that was meant to go towards divine feminine, because divine feminine passed the tests and the spiritual battles and all the things that she had to go through in order to develop the skill set and the strength to hold that power, and also to earn it and deserve it, which she did. The other people did not, which means they also didn't have the stamina or the capacity to hold that. When they tried to siphon it for themselves, because they thought it would be cool, or they thought it would, look good on them or something, it killed them. She burst into flames, and, well, couldn't handle the heat, to put it lightly. Just was destroyed from the inside out. Wasn't for her. Island of Jewels, they tried to take something that wasn't theirs. magic carpet. I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess, now when did you last let your heart decide? I can open your eyes, take you wonder by wonder, over, sideways, and under on a magic carpet ride. Soaring, tumbling, freewheeling on an endless desert sky. They thought that they could take something that wasn't theirs. By creating burdens and obstacles for people that they had no business creating. A whole new world, a dazzling place I never knew. How she spin, that's so funny. So it's that medicine woman, but I also referenced the show Spinning Out. And so it goes back into this, where in this show, the Spinning Out series, she gets injured and she has anxiety about doing certain jumps because she doesn't want to harm herself again. Speaking of how she spins, right? And according to the caption of the movie, which I haven't gotten to this part yet, apparently she, spoiler alert, although it's written in the caption, she's on a journey to learn to trust again through this process of like love or working with a good partner. So it's like a divine masculine energy that comes through. There's this mean and heavy toxic spiritual energy. Look at that devil skull head on the tongue, like trying to poison people, step on people. See the boots? You know what this is also reminding me of? Callie coming through, stepping on this, crushing the skulls of the enemies of the light workers for targeting, especially divine feminine and her children, serpent power, that kundalini energy. Also, it goes back into the Shamara series I mentioned the other day. It's that kundalini spiral, though. Asylum. So two things. Seeking peace, seeking asylum from these mean and heavy toxic energies. Serpent power references the rebirth, also that phoenix energy. And then you have, see, hot seat. They can't handle the heat. They wanted to try to dodge accountability, dodge being in the hot seat. And then asylum, or an asylum, is like a mental hospital. So like I said, they wanted to try to lock people up or just get people to dismiss, like discredit. They wanted to discredit victims and witnesses by saying that they were crazy. Yeah. They didn't want people to know and listen to the divine feminine. I have been reborn. Elixir, fruit essence. Elixir. This is some poisoning somebody's water supply. Joker. Yeah, because they thought that they were tricksters. They thought that they could manipulate people and force things to go in their favor, creating a maze. No, it was a bad gamble. See that dice there? They got a snake eye, though. You rolled a snake eye, you bad gamblers. In case you don't know that you lost. Yeah, see, they tried to outcast and isolate people. Told you. They either wanted to lock people up so that they could take them out and kill them possibly, or just put an end to their life cycle as a whole, right? Keep them stuck so they couldn't live their lives freely or fulfill their purpose or expose the criminal behaviors. Or just be themselves. Be their full, complete selves. Happy selves. Peaceful selves. Certainly not without interference. It's like throwing stones at people and then expecting them not to bleed when you hit them, or blaming them for bleeding after you cut them. What do you mean? That's your fault, not theirs. Yeah, see, it's an ending of a cycle, but not the way they wanted. It's a closing of these toxic, hostile cycles that they've continued to spin. You're at the end of a cycle in your life. Call upon your angels to comfort you, holy angels, and to guide your next step. Happiness awaits you now. You're a spiritual teacher. You have the ability to counsel others and help them awaken their spiritual gifts and divine mission. You are protected from all types of harm. The worst is now behind you, so I ask you to relax and feel safe. I mentioned this to children. You have a gift of working with young people, and your divine purpose involves helping, teaching, or parenting young children. It's also what they tried to interfere with, remember? The timing is right for this new venture, so a happy outcome follows your positive expectations. But caution is warranted. Look deeper into the situation before proceeding further. So I'm picking up specifically about those people who wanted to try to target. Just be mindful not to let these people back in, and be mindful about who you give information to on levels. Not everybody's your friend. Not everybody will cheer for you. Sometimes people want to know information to take something from you or to block something from you. To 128:22. Not even just because they want it. In some cases, just because they don't want you to have something or be happy. To make your decision, ask yourself which way brings me closer to my divine purpose and what takes me away from it. And that means giving information to people who don't deserve it, maybe who never deserved it. Let's try this instead. Fallen angels on the card, you don't need that. Or dark angels, just in general, really. $129.22. To make your decision, ask yourself which way brings me closer to my divine purpose and which way takes me away from it. Oops. You have a special bond with animals. Your pets on earth and in heaven are watched over by angels. I feel like there's another. I would like to jump off of here now. There's another deck. Yeah, it is. Let's see. I'm getting another energy. Yeah, about that Jehovah's Witness fake doctor. They're telling people that you're fake. Yeah, that's because they don't want people to look into the fact that they've been using their job to drug people, spiritually trying to attack people, and also that they're part of a cult. They can't understand your level of knowledge, talking over you. It's in reverse, though nobody's listening. They thought that if they said what they said, that people would listen because they're a doctor, but actually people aren't because, well, it's evident. They're lacking in abundance. Yeah, that's why they were trying to push people away to target a multimillionaire. Dark entities are using these people to work against you. It seems like a form of possession as well. Like I said that earlier. They're mad because you pay no mind to them. I just mind my business. They see your true potential and are threatened by it. They're trying to block your money flow. Yeah, we know that. I keep picking that up. They want you to mention them to gain clout. Well, here's the thing. The one person whose name was mentioned today, 13222, is very likely to face jail charges for what was done, and if not jail charges, definitely spiritual jail. Consequence from the divine providence. Yep. So no doctor wants people telling others that they've been going around drugging people. That could not only ruin their career, but put them in prison. So when it gets to a point where you have to speak up about a situation like that, that's the last point that somebody wants their name dropped in any kind of involvement with it. But that's the point that she pushed it to, 133.22. Haters are bringing you income. Haters give me clarity, popularity. Yep. But what I will say is that I did pick up some of the energies of some of the other people who chose to try to stalk me, and they have ties to her. That bath salt person who went over the bridge, some of them were friends with him. He also stole my video camera years ago. So her son is a thief too. Keep reminding them of how fantastic you are. Oh, I will. See, you tried to avoid drama, but they're pushing it, so stand up for yourself when you need to. And that is why I whistle blow. Your spirit team's taking care of it. I know. See, they were trying to be combative because they felt like they needed to. It's like we were confident in the truth, so they felt like they needed to combat that, but now they're sweating. Their finances will perish, spying on your family. These people are crazy. Return to sender backfired on them. Personality disorder. I'm telling you. Low-key in love with you. And they're really, in some cases it's jealousy, but in some cases it's both. It's also inspiration. And a lot of times it's where that starts. It starts out as inspiration, and then they can't be us or be with us or whatever the combination, so they quickly get upset. And that inspiration turns to jealousy, and the jealousy turns to anger and aggression and hostility, which turns to malice and whatever hate-fueled actions are behind that. For starters. You're talented and they're not. They can feel your come up. Something has been blocked for your protection, and they will expose themselves. But they did, though. They already did. Here, why did I do that to her? Yeah, I have a good... Have a good think about it, karmics. Your energetic come up drains their demons. Anything else? So as far as the whole thing, that King David story goes, bottom line of that summary is he wasn't evil. He did not send his men out to go murder somebody and like kidnap this woman. It's just what happened. He just wanted to speak to her, and that's how it played out. But because if he had not sent his men out to go collect her at all, her husband would not have died trying to defend her and keep her from being taken by these men that the king sent, and therefore he would still be alive according to that. And so in God's eyes, he had blood on his hands, and he could not continue to build a divine temple with blood on his hands. That's why he had to give it to his son. So anyway, this is for Divine Masculine. I did not mean to pull this deck out, or from Divine Masculine. We cannot stay in a place that we don't belong. So he's saying we don't belong in these karmic situations or around these karmic people. I'm being guided towards you, and I'm watching. So he's paying attention to what's going on, what Divine Feminine is doing. His Divine Feminine also, who's maybe targeting her. You're going to see me. He wants to come through and talk and communicate. You were in my dreams last night. I've been trying to manifest our reunion. There's earth sign energy here, or it's a very stable energy behind this. Yeah, see, look, there it is. And I have an offer for you. It's a stable energy. So like a pentacle energy. It's a solid offer. Twin flames from your twin flame. I want to gamble and fall in love with you, because it's not a gamble. Well, first of all, I hear I'm a good gambler. That's what Divine Masculine's saying. But it's not a gamble with Divine Feminine, because it's his destiny. And so he's trusting his intuition and following it to be with her. Let's teach the world how to love. There's chemical attraction here for sure. Let's fuck. Synchronicities. Yes. So they're both getting signs that are drawing them towards each other. Self-care. Fear or love. So in the meantime, they're taking good care of themselves, being called to take good care of themselves and choose love, not fear. This may be a masculine who was afraid to speak up before, to come forward or about his emotions, and so he's wanting a second chance to come through. I think of you daily, he says. I'm not afraid to fall. Runner is in reverse. See, he's not going to run anymore. I love you. Do you love me? Let's assist by awakening those around us. Yes, it's in reverse. So he says, I'll come around if you ever wanna be in love. If you need me, baby, call me up and I'll come around. So what is this? An ending to our separation is nearing. Don't give up on me yet, please. And I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up, no, not yet. Even when I'm down on my last breath, I won't give up on you. I'm so proud of you. You and I share the same reflection. Spring, this could be their birthdays, spring, March, April, May, or this could be when, in some cases, when they either met, when they are coming together as the winter season closes. In some cases, it's not that at all. In some cases, this has to do with their birth dates. Transform. Let's break the cycle. Let's break the karmic cycle. So he's saying, let's not deal with these karmics anymore. Let's transform this energy once and for all and break these cycles so we can be in a space of love together. Hold on, let's see. They're watching us. We have eyes on us. Yeah, I know. There's a rumor going round about me and you, stirring up a little town of the last week or two. He says, can't try to deny the feelings, can't hide it, can't try to deny it. I feel it, don't you feel it too? There's a rumor going round and round and round. What do you say we make it true? He says, I could tell him, basically he says, I can tell them to piss off if you want. I can tell them all to mind their own business and go away. Or I can lay one on you right now and we can really give them something to talk about, meaning he says, if you want any kind of discretion, if you just want them to mind their business, if you don't want any PDA, I can just tell them that, you know, they're all crazy and that they need to mind their P's and Q's. Or if you want, we can make out and really give them something to talk about. Pretty much. Reach out. We always come back to each other. So he's wanting to communicate. He's wanting to reach out. Summer, June, July, August. So these, I feel like this is more about birthdays. In this particular case, it won't be for everybody, but there's something about, and maybe they both do. Maybe one of them is June, July, or August. Maybe the other is March, April, May, or maybe there's a crossover between them. This could be cusping people too. But what would that be? Taurus, Aries, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, soul contract. No more delays. Fall, September, October, November. No more delays. This could have been meeting also in the fall. Or like reconnecting in the fall time, or even just communication, opening up more in the fall. Ego, or he's saying I was in my ego in the fall and that's why I didn't come through here a couple of months ago. I just heard October. I didn't come through in October because I was in my ego, he says. Got it. Okay. Everything, thank you, is smoke and mirrors, but me and you, we are the clarity. Stop running. He doesn't want her to run either, but he says he won't. December, January, February, right now. I can't just be friends, he says. And I want to be more than friends. Okay. Anything else? Anything else? Focus on yourself for now, babe. So he's telling her, love yourself. I'm coming. Just, you don't have to chase. You don't have to, which she hasn't been. He knows she won't. You don't have to do anything. Just love yourself and be yourself. I listen to songs that remind me of you. There's healing happening here. Trying to make more money. I get lost in thoughts of you. Chaser, see, he wants to come towards her. Twin, oh, this was in reverse. False flames, though. So, there has been interference energy. Don't chase me, exactly. Don't chase me. So, the false twins, or the fallen counterparts, they would try to play chase games. Divine Feminine doesn't have to do that, right? Because the real Divine Masculine says, you don't have to chase me. I will carry you through it all. Our souls knew before we did. Hide and seek. He says, don't run. He says, I heard don't run and I won't hide. I want you so bad. Send me energy. Awaken. Hold on. I think of you and touch myself. 922. So he's wanting to connect with his Divine Feminine this way. I know that there have been karmics trying to pull on the Divine Feminine's energy with sex magic and spell work. I've been picking that up again the last couple days. But I have also picked up that the Divine Masculines are very attracted to their Divine Feminines. And it's not that it's not reciprocated at all. It's just that a lot of them have either been in their own space or they've been trying to protect their energy from people who don't belong in it or trying to pull on it, like these karmics had been. Together we are stronger, and he knows that, all in divine timing. So in the meantime, take care of yourself. Let us blend into one. She's inspired him also to take good care of himself on levels, or better care of himself. And this is also why he's wanting to take care of her. We ran for far too long. Let's just come together already. You are the flame that cannot be extinguished. I've loved you in my previous lives. Make a decision. No dealing with these toxic karmic energies. Our higher selves are preparing us to come into unity. No more dealing with these toxic karmic energies. Air sign, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. Anything else? This is a twin flame connection. So Divine Masculine says, I want you to focus on yourself for now. Right? Focus on taking care of yourself while I make my way to you. And he's also saying that he's been focusing on her. Anything else? Let's do one more. Okay. Let's meet up. So he wants to meet up with his Divine Feminine. It's Divine Masculine who wants to meet up. So this is also why he has put this part of himself, this loving, nurturing, and or Divine Masculine, this counterpart aspect of himself, on the back burner. And I feel like it's because, what was that? Take the leap in reverse, astral projection, because he's had people in the past take advantage of him or mistreat him or his heart. Possibly a water sign or somebody who played with his emotions. Do you feel me? He says, so this is somebody who, yeah, I'm astral projecting to you. I'm tapping into your frequency. Can you feel mine? Can you feel me connect with you the way that I do? Are you connecting with me the way that I connect with you? Do you feel you connecting with me the way I feel me connecting with you? He says. Do you feel our connection? Because I do. He says, I don't want to be without you anymore. I'm ready to take this leap of faith with you. Are you ready? Are you ready or not? Here I come. That hide and seek card came out too. But no more. He says, no more hide and seek. Here I come. Ready or not? He says, I don't care anyway, right? True love meets you in your mess, not your best. Sometimes you're stressed. Yeah, he says, I love you no matter what. right? He says, till death do us part, right? We've vowed this in many lives, so why would this be any different? He says, just because we died in another life doesn't mean I let that vow go. I love you. So this is somebody who knows and remembers this past life energy with his counterpart. This is lovely energy. Let's do this one for now. And just a quick, simple psychology pull, please. Okay, I was just asking no karmic cards, but it's all right. Can I have one for Divine Masculine? Just simply put, please. Divine Feminine, please. Karmic cards are still coming out. Hold on. All right, Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine. Okay. Karmics. Infidelity, enslavement, passion, marital difficulties, separation, ignorance, error, limited mind, tendency not to learn from lessons of experience, distance from loved ones, lies, cheating, does not want to learn, negative influence on others or on situations, May 21st to May 25th. That's about the week of my birthday, told you. April 2nd, June 16th, August 30th, November 11th, January 21st, 4 a.m. to 4:19 a.m. Then you also have taking what does not belong to us, jealousy, possessiveness, spousal relationships based solely on sexuality and materialism, sexual abuse, lewdness, and multiple relationships, theft, cunning, usurpation of goods, ruin, flagrant injustice, unending lawsuit or trial, vampirism, takes the energy of others. All of this came out in the reading. Family problems, lack of receptivity or emissivity, March 1st to March 5th, May 30th, August 13th, October 26th, January 5th, March 17th, 10:40 p.m. to 10:59 p.m. Then we also have seeking to convince, identifying with martyrs, feeling persecuted, fighting what one cannot be, scandalous behavior, fails in one's projects, false virtues based on appearances only, denying one's divinity, enemy of spirituality, mockery, scorn, hatred, inquisition, religious fanaticism. Told you that Jehovah's Witness crap. October 14th to October 18th, told you also. Divine Masculine said something about October. May 1st to, and also July 15th, September 28th. It's about my daughter's birth week. December 9th, February 17th, 1:20 p.m. to 1:39 p.m. Human distortions is karmic energy, by the way. These are social science, behavioral science cards, psychology cards. Isolation, alienation, impulsiveness, aggression, addictions, negativity, indiscretion, lies, betrayal, breach of trust, hallucinations, deceitful practice, and wild imaginings of an unbalanced medium, like the Jehovah's cult crap I told you. Negativity, hallucinations, confusion between dreams and reality, agoraphobia, claustrophobia, May 16th to May 20th, April 1st, jokes, tricksters, June 15th, August 29th, November 10th, January 20th, 3:30 a.m. to 3:59 a.m. as well. 1:55:22 on the count, on the timer. Resentment, prejudice, arrogance, tendency to want revenge, wicked and pernicious. I also heard vicious and deliberately ignorant, but ignorance, debauchery, sexual abuse, denial of one's errors, poor character. Told you about that too. It's a character statement, it just wasn't a good one. difficult to live with, difficulty learning, poor choices, authoritarianism, joining a spiritual movement to escape reality like the Jehovah's Witness cult, precarious health, April 10th to April 14th, March 25th, June 7th, August 22nd, November 3rd, January 13th, 1:20 a.m. to 1:39 a.m. And those were the karmic cards. Then you've got Divine Masculine, Discernment, Procuring a sense of action, Revealing the cause of problems, Liberating prisoners, including oppressed Divine Feminine, Renouncing, whoop, turn this light on, renouncing material privileges, especially those karmics who tried to hide what they were doing in the dark, renouncing material privileges to devote oneself to a mission. So Divine Masculine would rather, money cannot buy all the love that's here tonight. He says, I can make more money, but there's only one Divine Feminine. Meaning, so he needs to make sure to take care of her. No amount of money is more important than her, is what he's saying. And here she comes first. Or more specifically, that money is not more important than she is to him. Renouncing material privileges to devote oneself to a mission. Kind of like I did here, even if it took time away from building other aspects of a career, or like some people didn't want to hear the truth, or I was targeted because of the whistleblowing. It was still important to do, even if it was requiring me to temporarily take some setbacks or losses, right? They thought that they won a couple battles, but they lost the war in the end. Strategic genius, decisiveness. So he's got this reference. Usually this is a Divine Feminine card that comes out, but he also has this balance. And he did say that they were mirrored reflections. Participates in building a new world, magnanimity, devotion to a great cause through one's ideas, comprehension of life plans, gifted intellect, and the power of anticipation. And then you've got Divine Feminine, elevation towards greatness and wisdom, serving to exalt and glorify the divine. Enlightenment, detachment from matter, I mentioned that earlier, art of non-attachment, elevation through service, concerning great people, elaborating the seeds of human thought, sensitive and generous mentality, source of inspiration, altruism, diplomacy, distancing one from the hold of instinctive desires, feelings of fraternity, humanitarian aid, aspiration to what is elevated, great writer, and devotion to others. What about the twins as a mirrored dynamic, healthy pair? Do one for the karmics in regards to both of them as well. Both Divine Masculine and Feminine together, please. Some karmic cards coming out. Combat again. I'm not even going to let them. Divine Masculine and Feminine. Eloquence, expressing things beautifully and pleasantly, speaking well so as to hurt no one, speech that attenuates the power of truth, beauty, harmony, goodness, helping to see clearly, helping to see events as they are and make the most appropriate decisions, allowing detachment from matter so as to perceive essential truth, capacity to materialize thoughts through deeds, speeches and singing also. The bottom of this card says, know thyself and you shall know the universe. Sense of ritual and preparation, leading to the highest human realizations, transposing ritual into daily life, science of behavior and conduct, beauty, peace, harmony, politeness, friendliness, good manners, high place of transcendence, exorcism, dissolving meaning getting rid of nasty energy, dissolving inner and outer violence, helping find the perfect complement, extraordinary love story, rituals, ceremonies, initiation, and adoring the divine. And now, as far as those karmics go, I really don't wish anybody harm. I wish justice for all. I wish for the karmics that they learn their lessons and get held accountable. I wish that for the people who were misguided and kind of fell off the path, I don't wish them harm. I wish they learned their lesson, yes, but you know, a lot of them need healing, and I wish them that too. So I call for really just divine intervention, and I call for God's hand in things above all else, and divine guidance. Okay? Move through me, do with me as you will. Speak through me. I give myself, my body unto you, God, Most High. Meet up. Tidy up and stretch. So there's something about divine union coming through. In the meantime, just taking care of yourself, your body, your environment, taking time to rest and relax. Just spend time enjoying yourself or healing, resting and recovering if you need to. Read, studying up, taking care of yourself, maybe taking care of some hobbies, focusing on some hobbies, art projects, focusing on, this could be a date, like cooking and spending time with somebody, but even just with yourself. And I mentioned tapping into your own gifts and abilities. It's like that Dark Phoenix movie where the karmics try to snatch the gifts of the light workers and it backfires. Making sure to take care of some self-care, hair, also your environment. This could be the addition of adding flowers, color or freshness, or even just using essential oils that color, flower essences, like sometimes I use. Could do some of that Reiki before I go here also. Anything for Divine Masculine? Focus. Make sure to focus on finishing, completing goals and projects. This could be also about moving towards Divine Feminine too, or he could like to take pictures of her, take a bath, do makeup, meditate together. They may like to do self-care and spend time together, puzzle, and they fit each other well, right? Nurture. Sensuality. Meet up. He wants to spend time with her. Date. So he's volunteering to spend time with her or to help her with something in some cases, but it's just to be there also. Their love languages, the Divine Masculines and the collective, may be different for different people depending on their feminines, but it could also be about moving. Divine Feminine maybe moving with her Divine Masculine in some cases, or vice versa, or both, maybe moving together. Sensuality, meditate, bath. They may just spend time resting, taking a bath together, yeah, skincare, travel. This could be they travel somewhere and then just relax. I see a pool, maybe going to the pool. Definitely some, I hear Bed Peace by Janae Ko. Also Birthday Sex by Jeremy. Play, look, the pool. Flirt, yeah. Dance. I'm telling you, spending quality time together. He says, I love it when you flirt with me. It's that relationship where husband and wife never lose that honeymoon period because they're always loving each other and learning each other, and They're always flirting with each other, always still going on dates, no matter how long they've been together. They still do the things that it took to get each other, to keep each other. They still love each other. Reunion. And so they're coming together, even if this is from previous incarnations. They both may be into music, sing, blog. They both may have social media presence, catch up. Yeah, see, they like to talk, certainly to each other, learn about each other. They both may be spiritually gifted as well, or tapped into that. Crystals and oracle cards and sage on the table. Divine Feminine. Create. It's just about building. Taking care of herself, going with the flow. Being brave. Honoring herself. Honoring her gifts. Not being afraid to reach out, or more specifically, reach back to Divine Masculine. In the meantime, hold your space. Self-care, right? Take care of your environment. There's something about traveling here, reading again, right? Or learning, and self-care, that braid energy. It's going to be getting your hair out of your face to just focus on. Could be the meditation, could be cleaning, or some kind of project where you need to focus, or just keep your space clear. I feel like there's one more in here for Divine Femme. Hold on. Catch up. Reunite. I'm telling you. So focus on getting what you need to done, so that when Divine Masculine reaches out to spend time, you are able and willing and ready to accept. Here, all you've got to do is go. Put on your stuff and go. Get ready and go. But I'm hearing something about the level of readiness you feel depends on your level of preparedness, and how long it takes you to get ready also is based on your level of preparedness. Like, say somebody's going on a trip, and if they pack 2 weeks in advance, they don't have to just rush and get everything done early. So they don't feel like they're rushing to get out the door, and so they have an easier, more relaxing time probably doing so. Therefore, your level of preparedness is dependent on, or your level of ease and functionality, peace, is dependent on your level of preparedness. If you leave everything to last minute and try to rush things or force things, it's going to be less comfortable. But if you're already prepared, when he shows up, you're already prepared. When he calls or contacts with your offer, you're already prepared. But it's not like you're sitting there waiting, Divine Feminine. Take care of yourself in the meantime. You still move forward with your life. He's not wanting you to chase or wait. He's wanting you to live your life and let him come to you. And that's what God is calling him to do. And so is his soul. Those divine masculines. But you don't have to chase. Is there anything else? I need to go soon. Started kind of trying to rush through this reading. Honestly, I was ready to be done with this a couple of hours ago, but it's okay. There are messages that needed to come out, obviously. So I feel like there's one more thing though. Hold on. Okay, since they wanted to play possessed demon behavior, let's see what pops out, shall we? Redemption. Right, so there's comeback energy for the light workers. Endings and rebirth. Yeah, closing of these toxic cycles and a fresh start for my light workers. And undertaking and completing missions. Exactly. They couldn't stop anything. Breaking the circle, breaking the cycle, and restitution. These people have to pay for what they did. Restoration of life. If not financially, then definitely energetically. They wanted you to just forget what they did and how they treated you, but that's a no. They still have to pay for it. The damage they did, everything they've done. Not because I said so, because God did. Just the messenger. But they got extra karma for trying to shoot her. Those that tried. Rejuvenate. Yeah, there's healing happening here. You're about to be showered with prosperity. Trying to keep up with you through a fake account. Unwanted watcher, we know that. Trying to focus on you to figure out what's up and what you're doing. They regret what they did, but they don't want to show it. No, return to sender on that. I'm picking up karmic energies. Cord cut. It's time to release them and cut them off. They're trying to do protection spells, but they're not protection spells. They're attacks. They're mad that I'm whistleblowing and they feel like they'll be in trouble because I'm telling the truth about what crimes they committed. But that's the thing, is that that's their problem. They didn't think it was a problem when they were hurting people, but now they think that it's a problem, that they're going to be in trouble for it. So instead of being honest about the fact that they hurt people, they're trying to hurt people again to shut them up. And that's double whammy of the karma. Mature man. So what about this mature man? Wealthy man in reverse. They got cut off because he saw through them. He saw through this person trying to take advantage of him. Child, take advantage of an innocent divine feminine, or use children to target. Death in reverse. Yeah, they tried to target divine feminine, privileged lady in reverse, and put her in a bad spot because they were jealous. Main female. Adjudication. They wanted to dodge accountability. Criminal accountability. Community. Thoughts. Unexpected income in reverse. Yeah, they were doing this for money. Trying to use their day jobs to harm people, or they thought that it would benefit them financially. Lovers in reverse, but it cost them everything. Expectation, or it was a karmic couple doing this, or this is that Jezebel who was latching on to masculines for money, or targeting people to isolate this person they wanted resources from. Message in reverse. And despair. Now they're mad because they've been blocked out. Bad health. Marriage. Courthouse. Somebody's holding them accountable. Marriage. Courthouse. So they're bound to what they've done now. Spiritually speaking, this is coming back to them karmically, but legally speaking, they're facing consequences too, and they've got to pay out. Great fortune for trying to gang up on people to take other people's great fortune, or thief. Take other people's great fortune, or try to block people's freedom. And change and movement forward. So they're facing jail time for this. Tell me about the whole thing with the illness. They wanted to make people sick too. Poisoning people's water or food or drink. Yeah, imprisonment. Just popped out again. Hallelujah. My reading just closed. So now let's do a bit of Reiki. Shall we? You gotta know when to hold on. Face your fears. Mimulus. Decide your path. Wild oat. And then, what's this one? Forgive and forget. Willow. All right. And surround a lion with a bunch of lazy sheep. And the one thing about royalty is that we love to feast, yeah. You know what I'm hearing? Them change the lyrics. I'll tell you with certainty those karmics are diseased. Yeah, so it sounds like they're actually sick, or maybe they got STDs or something. Sex cults, some of them were in, maybe. There's a karmic who's trying to laugh. It's like that, trying to mock the truth energy, but it's because they're bothered by it. And then also there's another karmic who's upset. They're regretting their choices and targeting. They know they got caught. Just gonna quickly add these. Add some skull cap in there too. It's good for the nervous system. I'm gonna do that, and then also, while we're here, and into the herbs, might as well grab a sleep gummy. And there's that. Okay. There is abundance Reiki coming through. I think that came out earlier too, but it's alright. It's needed, obviously. It's halogen Reiki as well. It's illumination of anything that needs to be exposed. Anything that's been hard to see. Also preference Reiki coming through if you've been forced to kind of be stuck with certain things just because that's what people have left you with or positions they put you in. This will help open up more opportunities. There's also closure and expansion Reiki happening, so if you need to close any cycles out with people or help removing them from your system or your energy or your circuit. Cycles. That's that. This will also help to move people forward. There's elemental Reiki coming through as well, so this will be help grounding. For material reference here, it's also help with emotions and mental flow. As well as drive and passion and focus, movement forward. Again, it's like chariot card levels. Thank you, Holy Archangels, for the help. Let's do some diamond Reiki. Calibration Reiki as well. And then there's third eye Reiki. And soul merge Reiki. It's like twin flame mergence. Here, Free Falling by Tom Petty. What? Please remember to pray. Do no harm, take no crap, and I will catch you on the next one. Blessings and namaste.